Abom ana esibu so Ghana embassy wa Washington scandal $19.2 million. Manasa Zuri Awodi send you breaky Kwekwa Santebekon former tour MD ni Goldman Sachs ne Aska Energy story no breaky story way. But breaky story ne bia meka jam say na no ne kusi sen. In May 2025 bibi kusi wa Semper FM studios. Abrante na yabodi di Fred Kwate ne Kasai. Ana kofito ntwa allegedly coming kasa allegedly in the report per the reported a year mehu full report no or benefited from Scandinavia Abrante no tutu ama embassy for na nkese stopping e wo ye no otutu amom say welfare no so mu chase kano ono so Kasai in May 2025 Manasa Zuri Awoni nso akasa na meeting story ni nyina me boss story na ma wa wo so ma we de bia me ka to say tumufo na pa bibi fo abrabo ye na enyesa me ma pressure because on mine no bibi to apani bi emwa Manase be breaking down the year $19.2 million in 5 years 2019 2020 2021 2022 2023 2024 2027 years ba me anya me mama because tie kofito nto asem no no kafa brantie ne ho a Fred Kwate no ya IT officer na beje wonsam make sure so be subscribe mama subscribe and click the notification me the video be to be hunu eto hwebu bia you have a comment feel free leave that comment in the comment section we are make sure so be Goldberry Construction Limited do dine episode sino wasasen krata some the documentations related to your house in Goldberry e be this age man nyina e dia ma we are back access or project bia we bia dan bia we si bia warehouse we see school wakota sase oh yeah full upo be follow up somehow to get you further and better particulars to give you audio visuals for you to confirm all the transactions ika udi ko shemnis kaketwa ene ade away mu na wo bre no biti Ghana na oye ni opebia mabakoma assessing follow up ma ma credible feedback na bibia e kama e dia man. Now story we break ye no Semper FM ya ade omunya Fred Kwate no yesi abrantie no ade a yesi bi embassy ya ono na create website no de gigigi sika na omo friend no we dey ni story no I don't even need to explain the story for you. When you listen to them, you see a clear pattern. Fred Kwate point of the issue, a book could you to the statement members was suspended activities at the embassy, and people forecast who you too known. Now they been there by BBN, EBS or the suspended. Omni Fred Kwate and the Kasai, as more kind.
Hold on. To solve problems are ebeba IT solutions are embassy in here to make life comfortable for Ghana for new BI ebeba hono. That is why you
Isn't that what I did?
No, but this time no, you are paid as a staff of the embassy. You created a solution using resources of the embassy for your personal benefit. That is where the problem is.
Okay, back to you. I was working for the embassy.
Yeah.
I was getting paid for the other stuff that I do for the embassy.
Yes.
Not for that solution that I provided for the outside. Outsiders were paying me to go buy their return envelope and prepare their labels and make sure they can be communicated effectively from when the application leaves to when it gets delivered to them. These are two different things. So if I had put a charge on coming up with that idea, for example, certain amount of money, so for me providing or coming up with this intellectual idea, no, the government should pay me this, and I may operate here. It's a whole different ball game. Because if I ask permission that because like I said, the one that I provided, I didn't ask money. So if they say, instead of putting the burden on the embassy, let's put the burden on the applicants to find a way to solve the issue because the system does address verification. It communicates with them. When there's an issue, they are being communicated to. Tell me, for all these years, no, did anybody go online or in a social media say, and I'll be a year visitor, and I'll be a family passport, and no, there was no complaints. So can we look at the good part, the part that people were benefiting, and forget about the fact to say somebody was benefiting from something that he has, your friends, genuinely put together.
Yeah, but unim say based on what you're saying, Anka, the problem may not have been this serious if you did not have a link of that private company on the embassy's website. Even that there will still have been problems, but it is worse now because you used state resources for private gain. That is conflict of interest.
No,
and what its explanation is real.
So, you see, anytime you say that, it sounds as if I did it without anybody's knowledge.
Oh, no. That's not what I'm saying.
So when himself, but here, so when himself, you want penny for our embassy.
Embassy, no correct.
Okay. So are we saying, then penny for no are not allowed to find or find a solution to a problem? The question is, if they had a problem with what I was doing, and yes, and people from the ministry know what was going on.
Is it the ministry even in Accra?
No,
ministry in Accra. No,
but my brother, the embassy, that link and everything, almost website. Even if I'm not even going to speak for them, but the key thing is, was it a hidden link?
No, it doesn't look like it is. Yeah.
And I feel to say the second of them, you see, main problem is if the argument was about the fact that company, look, that debate we can have. But what I'm saying is for him to say, my diversity name account that is what we need to dwell.
Okay. I get
that is what the issue is.
No, I get that, but no. Yes.
One can say, the only reason maybe one come in like that is because they didn't have a case.
Yes. Nanona Kofitonto, Abrantane Kasai on I think around 19th May, on the 26th, 27th of May, Kofitonto Kwasempa, Wayedwa Wembazo, no Abrantane Yeduma. In sama Kofitonto na ekafa Abrantane no enie.
Abrantane de mekasa mekane nsemu na ade bechime. Okay? He's a bad boy. Send Kennedy Japan Bekan.
Because so said only had to defend himself.
Now the minister no try no.
Hold on.
Obi minister no try no.
Oh, my main point I mean make it. No. Sadia no, it doesn't work. Say and asema nipa na kano ya chin radio station na film, it's a joke when you are put before court.
Obi,
is a joke.
You just read a statement from the minister.
I agree.
Implicating the gentleman.
You are going further to make claims within your personal knowledge.
Issue a disclaimer.
It's and I make a
because someone may be cano. Now someone may can a bad boy near man may be cano. Some more problem there. Some more problem.
When you get to a point and if say I was saying
you can't have us of this information.
To also meet
you see the Etienne say and near man a dozen baby. And you could get to a black one investigate boy no me Kofitonto ameti I my investigating no and then me go through me emails me who report me on him and near ma enuntina mama caveat we NDC for munya se bibia ba na mo de politics and now ko social media people want to politicize this issue ade we ya esi no. So politicizing na okay because embassy hono politician hono e ba ko and na ni tumi kura hono so wo hwe the way embassy structure na is ni tumi no kwa limited it is out trans social media and ya fa no 2017 enti ya MPP time enti MPP for go on social media and MPP for and these guys are criminals and this has nothing. Because Mimi MPP ni Mimi ko I investigated him. The TN say number 1. What a company.
Was he employed in 2017 when embassy ho?
The exact
what do you know
the
about
exact
that?
time I employ no. I would have to check.
Okay.
Because me call no.
Okay.
My checks already show say no around 2015 thereabouts. Now I think say regularization around that time now okije token.
Okay.
But him being at the embassy predates 2017.
2017. Very well.
Let's put that on record because my friend and they've told me say Obaho before. So what a company and company no outside of the embassy. And the company and services are offer a mailing services. In Tianfan say who obi we no ma 10 and a mailing near my bar. We no ma 10 million near my bar. We share one envelope mu and a buy. Into to envelope no $30 and I buy. To the bar. Yeah, we are, and I'm saying it came as a package, no. SCNC they share one envelope mu. Now you mail it back to you as one envelope. So what he has done is he's created a company to nipa 10 no, or say to envelopes 10. So at instance I will bet you $30 no. Now you have to pay what? $300. So it came to my attention. And me decided say me react. So me name penny for kasa and mama to me say me investigate him. I investigated him and he admitted say why yes I didn't. Now me ya here no and no catch me say one me won come on. I'm saying come on me. Till later me one or buy no say penyinfo bi a oni omo kotena asese oni omo investigate me no eni omo na ye nti ade na o ti ho a wani abra wani ho hantwe no you are wasting your time and these are civil servants nti so pa miawa no bosumi bia no ebe bre o say
say me saying
specific amount to be.
Oh yeah.
And this is the same your friend is saying.
The same gentleman.
Fred Quartin.
Yes.
What's now okay.
So me and I'm saying, what do you mean? No, I say report now when you bring na o tro the command ambassador no. Masa. Ebe dru ho no ye be kwa kohwe agu because omo a wo no omo ye adwuma na omo kwa support o they will go and give contrary information. So the punitive measures are yede mano no. One ambassador no ntimi nye. So won take embassy structures as here. And now be jina bontin aka say and a politician. No. In fact, when it comes to embassy, who ambassador no a figurehead. The people who run the embassies are the people we call head of chanceries. Amona embassy ni kuta omo, everything in the embassy runs through them. So kasa o letter kro betna so o ambassador betna tro letter the abagana o ti hasa o letter bagana e bia 4 months kra na mai
in the report at the Kobe or somebody.
I'm telling you, I see I'm being very careful because of the image of the country. Because I me go through a baby on what no. You say be a ko. So I want to be very careful. So that is one. The first problem the second one I'm here say as head of information, I'm responsible for embassy, BBI in terms of media, all of that. So I realize we're registering in our demo. What do you mean? Embassy of Ghana, everything you registered it in your name? And you take me no can. Bear 4 months now, Branty in me preso. Eventually, I was able to take it away from him. And you see, he had wale cells no so strongly say, we a politician now ba. Oh no, ye bubu a pre kransa na we de oba. Now I survived because I've lived in America. I've lived there for 20 years. So I knew. So the moment I was starting the antics now, I saw him in his tracks. And I'm stopping him. It's a systematic issue. It predates any particular government or any particular thing. The Okuja to a black way can want some about meme attention 2021. Say, I was on my creative website.
I'll say he was employed 11 for guests to work in the embassy's IT department, according to findings. He created an unauthorized link on the embassy's website, which diverted visa and passport applicants to his company, Ghana Travel Consultant, where he charged extra for multiple services on the blind side of the ministry and kept the entire proceeds
on the blind side of what ministry?
Of the ministry.
Massa.
Kept the entire
you see, Obi, Okuje to a black one. Tina make a choice say he didn't have to go where he's going. On what blind side of who? Please.
But he is the head of the
please. Yeah. Obi, I'm telling you something.
I say his illegal extra charges, which were not approved by the ministry and parliament as required under Fees and Charges Act, ranges from $29.75 to $60 per applicant.
Massa, no Ghanaian applicant in the US brought that to the attention of the ministry.
Say Obi, the all can 20.
So Bian is concerned that you were comfortable with the charges.
This is what he was doing. Oh. So they went to Colorado. Okay.
Yes.
So we initiated a process, embassy on the go. So the idea was that we will go to the various places. Me head of information. And one other civil servants. A cookie. Enti me wawana penny be frame me say nkofo aba no office. Oye penny a nkofo nim se onim me. Na kofa ban office say masa e dey na ekosi visa ye call website no e say $130 for visa and I think say $230 for passport but mo ba ha no mo say $400
$400 on my ba honeymoon with embassy on the go.
Yes. Hey. $400 Tina Meka said they are black American. I wonder where he got the numbers from. So the 230 no they call 400 and at the 130 no they call 230. No mo ntiase. And I'm say omonfa website ni nyade emame. Omon the website ni mame na ye ghanaembassy.net.
Oh, yes, with the GH and others. Yeah.
But at the embassy ghanaembassy.org.
Yeah,
it's not make sure say me buy no. The lapses are there. I was trying to correct it. Now I am mouse space. So it's almost like a daily fight.
Should be .gov.gh.
So what I say, it's almost like a daily fight. In fact, I had to come and redesign the whole thing. My colleague back or reported to me, Angeline Addy. That lady fought with her life. Angeline Addy, she fought with her life. Because I went busy off of 20-something years. She understands the system. But so when I came as her boss, we decided so we will do the right thing for the country. $10,000 every month, no.
Now you come.
Now me you come catch and say $10,000 every month is $120,000 a year.
20,000 cedis. No, 120,000 cedis.
Dollars a year.
Sure.
Now me no says he can answer some shebre. I'm not going to throw away my political and my image and all of that away for $120,000. I won't do that. Now Orban no kuta noise councillor nti say wo room na ye record wa or the to conversation biya ube wie no na ye junk.
Yeah.
Na conversation biya ye junk. I'm say, what do you mean? Te hono ka kire me say. E hono ka kire me say masa na wo de dede na wo ye no. Dede na wo ye nkofo na other senior diplomats na no mo investigate team no. Omo na me ne omo ya ade no. And going back to the entire nipa ne firm. The na firm I'm say okay, on for website na mame. GhanaEmbassy.net. I'm saying GhanaEmbassy.net. What is that supposed to mean? Obi me coin is 90% cloned of the GhanaEmbassy.org. With civil servants or no more yes idea no.
As simple
No more pictures, no more videos now also. Or more kohonam. What is going? Because I'm more embassy on the go. I have to be the one to even promote it.
Yes.
I have to be the one to even engage the states, etc. No more consular for no mabe majuma mo babe. So what is going on? So I called Southern Neo acting HOC, and I'm a friend. Say, what is going on? This is what I've heard. Obi. So that is what they were doing. Into Ukwa. Now I could tria sikano or .net so what tria 400 no mate embassy deny then abrom. So it's not embassy Ghana sikano more foul. No. They know they can't touch Ghana by sika.
In the embassy ni benya de also
the embassy will get what it needs to get.
Extra.
But we extort the rest from
Yes.
Extra no, which is supposed to be free.
Yes. Now latest report na ba no or the report na ba abontin what one man home people here manasa zura we no so version of event in any.
report basically talks about the activities of the embassy. The period is from 2017 to 2025, but the focus of some of the major transactions were from the transactions took place mainly from 2019 to 2025 when the activities were uncovered and later occasioned the report. Unlike many other reports, this report or the findings are not mainly about the officials of the embassy dipping their hands into the coffers and mismanaging it, except for an occasion when they awarded a contract to the IT, a company owned by the IT officer of the embassy. So you can say this is the conflict of interest situation. But in a chunk of the report, the embassy rather put in certain schemes that, for want of better word, enabled them to extort money from people who are applying for visa and passports, and in the process there were certain disruption in services. There were people who couldn't get their mails and all of that. And basically, when people applied to have their passport or visas, you have the option to pre-address your envelope, and then when it goes and they are to return your passport or your visa or other correspondence, they just send you the same envelope you've addressed. So you pay for it. But at the point they disenabled that option, and then every person was compelled to pay $29.75 per postage. But the average cost was like $10.1. So you were getting close to $20 per postage. And we are looking at hundreds of thousands of people applying for services. So what the auditors found was that some of these entities that were doing these services were also linked to the embassy. There is one Fred Quatin, the IT officer, who prominently features in this report for all the wrong reasons. A lot of these companies are linked to him. So it looks like insider trading of a sort, and then the money goes out. And what brings in the other officials of the embassy was that there was another scheme that is very identical to what Justice Jones Doche once described as create, loot, and share. So these monies go out to this company, and then this company pays the money back into the embassy's so-called welfare account. And then that money is distributed to members of the embassy as welfare fund. So to basically put it this way, maybe you, Brace, you're a member of multimedia, and then you have a company that multimedia helps to make some money off the applicants. Then later on, multimedia pays, you pay money from that company to multimedia staff, and multimedia staff create an account at the Citibank of US and name the account Welfare, Ghana Embassy Welfare Account. And when that money drops into that account, it is disbursed. So one of the first people to even raise questions about that account was the bank itself. And the bank, if you read the report, you find from page 68 onwards, the appendix that the auditors added, correspondence from the bank, asking, when you were opening this account, you said, well, it was going to be contributions from members of the embassy, employees of the embassy, and then some courier service. But we've seen that since the account was opened, the source of funding has been coming from only one source, Ghana Travel Consultancy. And can you explain? And the explanation was that, well, this company does our courier services, and some of the embassy staff help with the courier services. So part of the money comes back, and then they back and forth until June 2021. The Minister for Foreign Affairs in Ghana, Shirley Ayokobotwe, actually visited, and the issue of the employee welfare account came up, and they even explained to her from the correspondence that are attached that, well, some of the agents who did business paid some money as motivation for the local staff, and that was what constituted the welfare account. From the correspondence, it didn't even appear the full story was painted to the minister at the time. But the minister, credit to her, Shirley Ayokobotwe, actually said, no, this is unacceptable. If employees who have a welfare account, it would be wrong for the agents who did business with the embassy to pay money to them, because it would create problems. So she ordered the closure of the welfare account, which was used to distribute or share the money that went out to or that came from some of these unauthorized or unapproved fees that were channeled through a private company linked to an employee of the embassy. But at the time of closing the account, the treasury officer of the embassy, Janet Franton, actually asked the bank if they could still open or operate a welfare account without involving the management of the embassy. And the bank said no, since the purpose is going to be the same, payment of welfare to members of the embassy, we are not able to grant you that permission. And this is expected because from day one, the bank has or had been raising questions about that account because things didn't look very clean.
Yeah, interesting. But there are several names that are mentioned in there. Are there any indication of whether any of them too has been contacted? What has been their responses so far?
Yes, if you look down the report, I think which I shared with the producer, you'd find out that there are a number of names that were mentioned, and their responses are also there. I've also just somebody showed something to me that is supposed to be a correspondence or a response from the ambassador at the time, Haji Ali Mahama. I think she was ambassador from 2021 to 2024. And then she said, well, the auditors didn't contact her because she wasn't involved in any wrongdoing per se. The only thing she did was to sign one of the contracts for a third-party service, and she makes the point, if what I read is actually from her, she makes the point that, well, this wasn't a case that the transactions occasioned a loss of money by the state. So she's even questioning why the report would recommend a retrieval of money from officials. And I think on that score, I very much agree with her that the money, apart from the internal contract that was awarded to somebody within the organization, that's the embassy, no, the monies that were the $19 million didn't come from the state, but the state or the embassy officials enabled a system that took money that they were not supposed to take from the people who did business with the embassy. And they did official business with the embassy. They went to the website, they saw links that created the impression that, well, these are websites or services offered by the embassy, because some of them had a coat of arms of Ghana and then Ghana embassy emblems, a whole lot. So in as much as it wasn't a direct loss from the coffers of the state, it appears the officials who acted on our behalf in the US created a system that took money from unsuspecting visa and passport applicants. And part of it also affected the reputation of the state, because there were some problems with even the postage that caused a lot of backlog and people complained. I think in the report you'd see that one person actually threatened to report Ghana's embassy to their congressman to take up the matter in Congress. And all of these at the time affected the reputation of the state. And if you look at the visit of the minister, that's Shela Yokoboche, the minutes actually indicated that some of the concerns that were addressed at that meeting came from the ineffective or inefficiencies that were experienced by people who try to do business with Ghana's embassy. And take it or leave it, embassies are PR organizations outside. Somebody who has never visited Ghana, dealt with the embassy and had a very bad experience is likely to extend that to the Republic. So these are some of the names that were mentioned. Fred Kwatin was a major name, and he was the IT officer. And the report even says they found blank passport booklets in his office. They found some visa stickers in his possession, which was not supposed to be so. And auditors also said he tried to conceal some evidence by forcefully taking out some hardware from the computer. So he's a major part. And you also have the treasury officer named in the report. That's Janet Maku Cranting, who actually opened this account, the welfare account, which channeled in the money from the illicit operations of Fred Kwatin and eventually members of the embassy shared. So basically these are the issues that are in the report, but if you read it, you find many more disturbing details.
Yes. Now, Udema say forget what the general name and say report. Forget it. The confusion to can say you the same way to not confusion to be there dancing your quarter. Say better Marco prison. Intimate from prison. So the question thereof is that utie kwatin ati or say obi. Say Ghana embassy official to mu issue website to mu hu ne wo. If there's anything criminality other normal anye. Now the general has flagged it as criminality, unauthorized payment, double invoicing, charging unauthorized fees. And the question is, head of chancery ambassador officials na woni nyina national security okay, one question. Two, den na no one college onu omoye adwuma se sika na on approve fees munim ko muntimi nkase munim ko mo na moye embassy adwuma munim ne approve ene ne onya approve no muji se sika ne bi se welfare eche eno be na esi Kofi Tonto nya ebe no per the report me nya full report am breaking it down mama. So those who are supposed to make the lives of the people in that country better no enyomo ye envelope back now I am a thing. And this is Kofi Tonto na testimony. Me mama answers, we mama answers. So now when Kofi Tonto decided to do the right thing, investigate him. What's wrong in life? That's our public service. That's why we have cowards. That's why you're using KBN one say you Timika. Me public service. I didn't mean you me bida. Ko nyama na mo ya na me wanwa. 19.2 senior and 19.2 million cedis dollars. Ade enko. Ghana ni na se de bi o ma se ni nua ho be henhan no no bu ni kom. Na yenko mana ase de ne so. We nyina auditor general pick. So you ask yourself say forensic audit na ma all these years government can every year audit into audit service no so na audit companies ni use no. So be so mo kire ye say all these things were not flagged. Hey, oma we me see the be asamba we ye be ye o me chase kan o me be SS Kofi Tonto di o me $800 yesterday. Me nya report na cheche mu. Ye de o ni be kosa ankrofo no nko aho. Na ya forget system. Na dey say o dey say multimedia be private company. It me create system be say obi hu ye ade gigi sika. Or they are two company aban de no so a directing crofo ko de gigi sika. Be the only inference when you nyina keken and then the report ya be keken say they couldn't see or they pretended not to see. Sanam Kagalam said that they feigned ignorance of it because they were profiting from it in the name of welfare. So your advocate who is supposed to advocate your interests ubi maso henyomo yam na krom ha ubi maso hebra mobre awo amukom FDI is amode ba remittances. Oh, amonya de o men kan say adwuma de oh ye ni ye de na meka na you gincho bibi na say police ni bi nsuo emu giram e man 50 eno on musa miskamede man na ye ma bibi na mo de ase ade no kra na wo ye no o de bribe ni dikan ye nya ne saa intimate de Kofi Tonto testimony kra ye enough to play in court and hold that guy. And that's in a guy and the confidence now you say, oh, na say, and penifo ni penifo me na nim. And I no bomb man here. You must know there must be a paper to the US where transfer penifo ben a man to be an ABS can become 1 year be. Who want the transactions will be who call your canon as a watch from fan and what then. They all canon near you need the aquas and penifo ni mubi. Could see the view and Yaman America. We on one testimony. Passan American, me you don't say today and Yaman one. Come oh la. Me the best share your view in the comment section. We are not a subscriber. No subscriber no click the notification. The video be at my book. No bet me be make sure so be show see the mama me here. O my Ghana see here. Bye bye.